Celebrity has saved me once again, because the minute that a rich white man would have started asking me, my family, or my friends for some money, ooh, baby, that would have been a wrap, because we ain't got it. Have y'all been seeing this lady's Storytime go viral? Her name is Onyeka, and she was on one of the previous seasons of The Bachelor. The name of this Storytime is the Danish Deception, where Onyeka, in a 26-part, 25 parts plus the conclusion, talks about how she was scammed by this seemingly wealthy man that she met on vacation and eventually ended up marrying. Now, she tried to keep his identity a secret, but the internet did some snooping and found out who her ex is. This is Martin Forsgaard Anderson. Onyeka met him in June 2022 when she was on vacation in Croatia at a beach club, and they pretty much hit it off instantly. He says he's a real estate mogul, competed at the Olympics, is a relative of the royal family, has a booming tech business. They exchange social media, talk all the time, and then he proceeds to sweep her off of her feet, which was really love bombing, because he flew her out to Monaco, Saint-Tropez, put her in expensive hotels, was trying to take her on shopping sprees, but she didn't want to come off as a gold digger, so she let him buy her some fancy sunglasses, and then later over dinner, she professes her love to him. He does the same later on, and then eventually when he starts visiting her in the US, he hits it off with her family and friends as well, and then sometime later he starts asking her for money. And I'm not talking about no little bit of money, like she loaned him $6,000 and then some, and then they do eventually end up getting married and he gets his green card. But the thing is, y'all, he wasn't just asking money from her. Like, he was hitting up her family, her friends. Onyeka's little sister gave him $3,000. Her friend's husband gave him $200K. And there was always some type of excuse as to why he needed it, saying that his money was tied up with the IRS and a whole bunch of other lies. And then she went to go visit his family and saw that the math wasn't mathin', found out from one of his friends that Martin has a gambling addiction that he has been fighting for well over a decade. And then Martin allegedly encouraged her to make some very poor financial decisions. For example, he convinced her to use her money to fly them out to Portugal to celebrate Martin selling an apartment, and then encouraged her to quit her job where she was making over $150,000 per year because she didn't like it, only for the money to not come through on the deal, leading to Onyeka burning through her savings. Eventually, they do end up getting divorced, courtesy of Martin. He is the one who asked for it, because Onyeka was on his butt about the lies, the inconsistencies, where's the money, and then when he got sick of it, he finally left. The purpose of the story time was to warn others about Martin and people like him, as well as to highlight the dangers of gambling addiction. I do encourage y'all to go watch her story time, because I just gave y'all a very brief overview. He's done a lot more than what I said, but I still cannot get over the amount of money that she, her family, and friends lent this guy. Like, I think the total was around $300,000. Shoot, him asking for $1 would have been a red flag to me, because how do you have all these connections, assets, come from a well-off family, make basically $500,000 per year, yet you still need my help when it comes to making big purchases? Like, what? And it's crazy how he was able to scam and leech off of her friends and family right underneath her nose. Let me know what y'all think about this story down below.
A woman who is happy with simply being chosen by a man is a danger to herself and her loved ones, because when you don't approach a man with a standard that he must meet, you will sacrifice anything just to keep him. Anything. Like, as long as your mind is fixated on just having him, you will sacrifice anything and anybody to keep him. She was grateful just for being chosen. He took her to the store. He said, pick whatever you want. She said, no, I have to prove to him that I don't want anything. I just want him. Her sister said, put air tags in your bags just in case, because you don't know him like that. At least we can find you if he does something sinister. She said, I don't need air tags in my bag. I trust him. This was after dating or talking to him, because he couldn't FaceTime, but this was after just talking on the phone for 1 month. She asked him for his Instagram information. She asked him what was his type. Then she proceeded to let him know, I can be whatever you like. Just pick me. Please pick me. The first time he said, I love you after a mysterious fall, She described herself as feeling grateful. She has said the word grateful numerous times. It almost got weird. Like she's just grateful, grateful, grateful. Even after he swindled her friend's husband for $200,000, she was grateful to still get proposed to. She was grateful, 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 grateful. They're shopping for wedding rings. He says he wants to get her a natural stone. She's like, no, I don't need a natural stone. I'll take a fake one. After he borrowed $30K from her and still had not paid it back, and they were taking those flights in and out, in and out, she said, I am here to make you happy. She said the reason why she was not concerned about the money was because she had planned to be his wife. This was before he brought up the immigration thing. She said in her mind that was her husband. So the money, him borrowing the money, was not the issue. So money was never the issue. A woman who is fixated, male-centered, just focused on just having him no matter what, no standard, she's dangerous. And not because she wants to be, not because she's evil. I don't think Onyeka is evil, but I do think she is heavily male-centered, and she really did not care about who he hurt until he left her.
And you know what else is crazy? People saying, oh, don't victim blame. She's not a victim. Guys, somebody, a white man with blue eyes and blonde hair comes to you and says, I am a millionaire. I am royalty. Then the next thing he says is, I need $6,000. Are we victim blaming or are we common sense pointing outing? Which one is it? Like, I feel like the internet loves to do all these like internet-y things like, oh, you don't understand. If somebody comes to me and says, I am rich, go buy a Chanel bag, then 2 days later comes back and says, I need $6,000. I know this is a scheme set up by Todd. Hello? Mind you, this girl, she wasn't even like in her early 20s. If she was like in her late teens, early 20s, I could understand. Homegirl's in her late 30s. You work in real estate, which means you verify people's funds before they let them buy houses. Girl, no funny. I would not even trust you to, I don't want to buy no house from you. Because common sense is running very far from you. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he deceived you. He deceived you in the same way that people call our phones every day trying to run a scam, telling us that, you know, we owe something on our Verizon bill, etc. What do? You hang up the call. This wasn't that. This wasn't that. And another thing, her allowing this man into her life. Guys, think about it really well, right? When your friend or your sister or your cousin gets a boyfriend, you don't go vetting him. You assume that your relative, your cousin, your whatever, did the work to vet him herself before she allowed him come into your family. So she cost her family all that money. Hello? Hello? What's not clicking? What's not clicking? Like, this isn't about no victim blaming. What millionaire needs $6,000? I think that was the first amount of money that she said that he asked for. What millionaire needs 6,000 US doll hairs? None. Girl, you work in real estate. Are you serious? You're in your late 20s. Are you serious? You're Igbo. And let's talk about that Igbo-ness of yours. You go to the village, which means you know. There's no Igbo person. First of all, going to the village is such an active thing to do. It's such an active process. You gotta get to Lagos. You gotta hire a bus or get on another plane. Get to your village. Go through. Your parents will tell you, don't greet that auntie. Don't let that person touch you. Don't pick up money from the floor. Don't eat that person's food. Like, it's such an active experience. Not something that you just do and then you just come back to Dallas and you don't know, like, you know the tease. You know a scam. You know to stay away from that cousin but let that cousin close. You know the vibes. I'm Igbo. Stop playing. So I think she knew she was getting scammed. She was giving him the money to cover it all up. You know? And she liked the idea of him and this white man being together. She knew he was funny style. She didn't mind as long as he was on her arm. The second he gets off her arm, now you're stealing passports and stuff. Sometimes, guys, people are just dumb. And come on the internet and just say, hey guys, I am dumb and this is what I did. Because don't come up here telling me this guy, he overly scammed you. He was so manipulative. He was such a genius. No, he's not. There's no genius, millionaire that needs $6,000 from me. That's the first one. First, I'll say, wow. What's more proof? Proof that he's a millionaire or proof that he asked me for 6K? Are we catching the vibes? And another thing, her saying, oh, you know, I wanted to show him that I wasn't here for his money. What do you mean? If a man tells you he has money, you enjoying the money is not you using him, it's you enjoying the thing that he has. I got jokes. If somebody says, oh, Chi, I don't want you to think I'm with you because you're funny, then why else would you be with me? I got plenty of jokes. Come and get one. Like, you, like, really deconstruct why you did this, why you Onyeka, Anika, why you did this to your family and friends. Deconstruct it. Because yeah, that man had a part to play, but girl, you had a bigger one. And that's why I always say, when you meet a man, when you're dealing with a man, tell yourself the story of how you guys met and how the relationship is going like a storybook. I've said this already. Don't leave out any details. Don't do ups and downs. Don't skip past. Say it the first day we did it, second day we did it. Because guess what? Once you start saying it to yourself, I'll even do you a better one. Record yourself while you're saying it. Then you can get to the tease of what's going on. Because a lot of people like to play victim instead of just saying, actually, I wasn't that much of a victim. What lady in her late 20s hears that a man is a millionaire, that you can fly all across Europe, but then in the same breath you need 6K? Could make sense, rara. So lady, that's why everybody's blaming you, because we're not dumb. Like, I'm not gonna play this internet game of like, oh yeah, but hold on. No, but nothing. There's no millionaire that's gonna ask me for $6,000. And that's just that on that. Okay? Okay. Bye guys.
She said she was pissed at his family for not telling her about his gambling addiction, and that she had a lot of resentment towards them for like not giving her the heads up. Girl, that was not their responsibility. It was your responsibility to do the due diligence. Who she needs to be angry at are her own friends and family. Because what do they think that your character is? Like, my friends and family would know how terribly uncomfortable that would make me. My life partner going behind my back and collecting thousands of dollars from all the important people in my life. Like, the alarm bells would start sounding the second he said, hey, do you have $3,000 so I can put it towards a Ferrari? Because like I'm having a little trouble moving money around from my Danish account. I give it not even 2 minutes, ring, before I get a phone call from my bestie. Especially if he said, and don't tell her it's a surprise. The alarms would be asounding. My sisters would host an intervention. Or me. They don't want me hitching my wagon to someone who is financially irresponsible and a terrible liar. They would know that I need every bit of information possible to make this huge decision.
Okay, listen, real quick. I know we've been talking about Danish Deception for like 48 hours, maybe 72. I just got on it yesterday, day before maybe. I just want to add this real quick. Number one, I knew by the way that girl was saying, and what type of time we were going to be on, what type of man she was into, and what type of journey that we were about to embark on, just from that alone. Number two, don't shoot the messenger. But there is a certain demographic of Black women across the globe who believe that having a white partner is a form of validation. And I think it was easy for her to be deceived because she wanted so badly to believe that this rich white man wanted her. This is not groundbreaking. I know I've seen a lot of people saying, like, how did you ignore this red flag? Like, this was a red flag. This was a red flag. Yeah, red flags galore. But when you want to believe that you have reached this and, like, this is your Prince Charming and he's white, hey, I think it was easy for her to go down that road and be deceived. Because this is what I don't believe. I don't believe that if that was a Black American or a Nigerian that she met over there, she would have gone through all of this. I don't think so. I could be wrong because I don't know her, but this is just my assumption. And that's where I'm going to leave it. I mean, tell me what you think.
I'm only on part 11, but if that man was Black or a minority, she would have not trusted him as much as she did. If that man was Nigerian, like she is, she would not have trusted him as much as she does. She trusts that man with $32,000 US because he's white.
That motherfucker took $30,000 from me. Keep in mind, he still owes me $6,000 at this point. He said, can you send me $5,000? After some time, he talks me into loaning him the $15,000. I end up loaning him an additional $3K, not even a week after I had already given him $15K. I remember I gave him like a small amount, maybe like $3,000. We ended up going to Portugal for a week. We used my credit cards the majority of this trip. Your ex owes my husband $200,000. And I saw that there was a cash advance for $7,000. My little sister looks at me and she says, He took $3K from me. I find another friend that he owed $10,000 to. My coworkers that I used to work with, husband gave him $10,000 to. And what was in his account? 34 cents.
You fell for the blue-eyed demon. You fell for the blue-eyed, blonde-hair, blue-eyed, blonde-hair, blue-eyed, blonde-hair demon. And you are Nigerian? Where were your parents? This man said, I am a millionaire and said, I need $6,000. Why the fuck you need $6,000? See, discernment should have came in the room. Because the first question I would ask is, where the fuck is your money? You got $6,000. You gave that man $50,000. 50 fucking thousand. I don't feel bad. I don't call it deception. I think you just didn't have no discernment or no fucking common sense. You didn't question shit because you fell for those blue eyes and that blonde hair. You should have kept this story. I mean, it's good. Maybe you can write a book. But baby, I don't feel bad for you. You didn't get deceived. You got played, okay? You got played. That man worked you for $50K. No. Hell no. Sorry, y'all.
Screw it. I'm gonna go to Monaco. I go to Barcelona to meet up with some friends. We're gonna go to Brazil. And he's like, well, let's do Paris. And I said, okay. We ended up going to Cabo for one of my childhood friends' wedding. I board a flight and I head to Denmark for the first time. We hop on a flight to go to Nigeria. Already had plans to go to Budapest for New Year's. And so we went to Cartagena, Colombia.
Come on. If this guy was Toya C from Oshodi, we would not be getting a 25-part series and counting. I'm sorry to be the one to say it, but this man got away with a lot of things because he was white, okay? Now, this is why internalized racism and internalized white superiority is very, very dangerous. And Black women, we need to open our eyes wide when we're going on the other side, okay? I need to also put a disclaimer. I'm by no means trying to come for this babe. I'm just using her story as an example or a way to discuss certain topics which we should already be discussing, because shout out to her for even bringing this story to our attention, because personally, if it was me, shame go catch me. I know if you open mouth talk, say this thing don't do me. Number one, you think if a Nigerian man in Nigeria sent you a message and said, hey, I want to take you to, I don't know, Spain, Paris, whatever, send me your passport details, you'd be sending your passport details? No, you would not. The man said, I want to take you to Monaco. You are now sending your passport details. Why can he not send you the money to book the trip? Why would I send you my passport details? Where is it? Where is that done? As my mom would say, where do they do that? Where is that done? It's not done. It's not done. Why am I sending you my passport? Do you know what your passport details are? Do you know what somebody can do with your passport details? Like, are we being for real? Cool, that's number one. Number two, the village visit. Why is a boyfriend going to the village? I don't know if I'm just being overly traditional, but why would a boyfriend be invited to the village where my ancestors have, you know, raised and where my ancestors are laid, where my ancestors have built? You are coming to the village as a boyfriend. So that means I'm bringing stranger to my village. What am I bringing you to my village for? What are you coming to do there, bro? Like, what going for you? Why are you here? Why are you in the village? What's going on? What's the meaning of that? Then you two, your parents have accepted him. Oh yeah, come, let's go to the village. Why are you coming to the village? I don't give a heck who's getting buried. Why are you coming? I will send you picture and video. I'll meet you in Lagos. You stay there, we go to the village, we do what we need to do in the village and we come back. That's like, I feel like village visit is like reserved or should be reserved for like husband, wife. Do you know what I mean? Like children, that type of family connection. Why are we bringing next man to the village? Number three, and he went to go ask the dad for the hand in marriage, right? My thing is, what do you mean you guys have not met as families? So you're telling me as Igbos that carry culture on their head like calabash, you guys have accepted for this man to marry your daughter, but you've not met his family. You don't know where his family come from. Would they do that for Toya C? No, they would not do that for Toya C. They would not do it for Toya C. It don't make sense. So again, rose-tinted mother freaking glasses. Take them off. Take them off. Just because this person is coming with fair skin, blue eyes, dark hair, whatever, it doesn't mean that their danger is less than. In fact, I would even go as far as saying their danger is even more so.
Because now Igbo people, they cut people, they put them for fridge. Now Igbo, they do them. Yeah, I love a crime documentary, babe. I love a crime documentary, so I see it. I know. So all of that, I say all of this to say, yeah, like I said in the beginning, we would not have received a 25-part series and counting if this man was black. I think growing up, we've been taught like, oh, white is better, like light is better. Like we've been taught that. It's been embedded in our brain, and it's for us to now unlearn these things that we have been taught because we know that it's now wrong, you know? Really quickly, before you guys come for me and say, oh, Risa Tisa, da 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 da, I'm talking from the standpoint of a Nigerian babe. Not African American, a Niger babe. Oh, I wasn't with him for his money. You should have been. He was with you for your money. Black women, we do not get a cookie, a award, or trophy, or nothing for pretending like we don't care what's in a nigga pocket. We don't. If anything, all you get is heartbreak, misery, trials, and tribulations. Trauma, if you will. Please, start caring. Start giving a fuck about what's in that wallet. Stop paying for shit all the time. You don't gotta do that. You don't gotta do that. Make a nigga feel like he need to work hard to get you. He need to step his cookies up before they motherfucking crumble. That Danish Deception lady, she done got swindled, her and her family, out of hundreds of thousands of dollars because she wanted to make it known that she wasn't with the man for his money. She wasn't no gold digger. Well, baby, he ain't had no gold to motherfucking dig. Okay? If anything, you should have pretended like you ain't have shit when you met that man. Huh? Get off of this app. I'm tired of it.
She was afraid of being labeled a gold digger, and that's why she got. And until black women heal their relationship with money, I think black women will continue to get got in relationships. Let's put on our thinking caps and talk about it. As I watched the series, one of the things that I kept noticing was her emphasis on she wasn't with this man for money. She didn't want him to think that she was with him for money. And living in a capitalist society at this point, I think if we treated money like a natural resource, because at this point it's vital for our survival, that I feel like black women would feel like they are more deserving of it, they are in need of it, and it's a resource that they enjoy having and a resource that they enjoy using. And I truly think the need to convince men that we're not with them for money stems from black women being labeled gold diggers, right? Because in what other community is money not important? In what aspect of life is money not important? But whenever it comes to money in relationships, black women have this need to want to prove that it's not about the money. And I think that's part of the reason why these hypergamous, hypogamous, and homogamous conversations keep coming up, because black women are trying to prove that money doesn't matter to them when in fact it does. So when he came to her to ask her to borrow $30,000 and really ask her to borrow any amount of money, she felt like she needed to, because she needed to prove that it wasn't about the money and she was willing to be a ride or die and hold her man down, despite all of the red flags by that point. And I feel like we need to get over this fear of being labeled gold diggers, because if a man views you as a gold digger, then that means he knows he needs to have gold and he needs to be willing to share that gold. Because women who are gold diggers ask for what they expect. And honestly, if money wasn't important, he wouldn't have used money as a manipulation tactic. He wouldn't have used money as a way to love bomb her, to get her to open up and get her to soften herself. He used money as a tool to get from her what he wanted to get from her. But for some reason, as black women, we downplay the role of money when it comes to romantic relationships. And I really want us to heal our relationship with money so that we can stop getting got.
So let me get this straight. A man is owing me money. Day 1, oh, I sent you the money, it should drop in your account. Day 2, oh, I sent the money, it should drop in your account. Day 3, I don't know why, open the bank account. Bring your laptop. Yeah, log into your bank account. You don't want me to see your password, okay. Yeah. All right, logged in. Move. Now I need to go through it by myself. You letting this man send you screenshots? Screenshots? In the day and age of Canva and PDF and Adobe and all these PDF editing softwares, you letting a man show you screenshots? You like deception. You know the part that got me the most? Oh yeah, you know, we were up to date on our payment plan, so like we felt comfortable like taking another trip. And another trip. And another trip. And if you go on her Insta, it's Monaco, Jamaica. Me as the friend that you're owing 200K. Mama slide up. You people are in Jamaica and you still owe me 200,000. Like, please, please. And then all my friends must be very stupid. This man told you guys that he was to buy me a Rolex. He was to buy me a Ferragamo as a surprise. Oga, when are you surprising her? Why has she not posted? What? I'm calling my friend. Hey girl, what's on your wish list? You got a Rolex on there? Oh, okay. How much does it cost? Cool. If her birthday is tomorrow, I need to see that watch tomorrow. First of all, that man is not getting a damn thing from me. My sisters are not giving anybody money and saying, oh, because he told me not to tell you. It also tells me how close your family is, because there is no way a man is borrowing money from my sisters to surprise me. My sisters will call him broke. My sisters will ask him that. But Shebe, they said, you are a royalty, Kini, and you need my measly $3,000? No. Oh, your bank transfer is delaying. We can wait. You can give her a post-birthday gift. That's fine. There was just too many things that I was just like, it's given you like to be deceived. A man tells you that, oh, no big deal, but I kind of won the gold medal in the Olympics. I want to see it now. I want to see it. Show me the video. Oh, okay. You don't have it. That's fine. Let's find it together. Let's Google, because what do you mean? What do you mean you didn't Google it? What do you mean? See, let me tell you guys what it was. She liked the idea of what they looked like as a unit to her family and her friends more than what was actually happening. Like, she liked the idea of them. She liked the vision of them to people. If that guy did not end that marriage, I'll keep that for next time.
I finally caught the cliff notes of the Danish Deception, and baby, it's shit like this that makes me understand how catfish ran for as long as it did. Okay, like that's what Lacey be talking about scam goddess, when she like people will fall for a scam by a tall white man with a full head of hair, because that's all that was. Because like we have all fallen for the okie doke. Okay, at some point we have all been played, we've all been lied to. Like hell, I spent most of this year dating a man that I didn't know was married. Okay, we've all fell for some man's bullshit at some point. Okay, but this is some whole other shit. Cause like, do I Google every single man that I date? Clearly I don't. Right? But if you were to tell me, if anybody I met, matter of fact, was to tell me, okay, that they were a member of a royal family, that they have been to the Olympics, I'm Googling that shit. Like, there's certain shit that people say to you that just sounds crazy enough that you're like, I need to look this up. Like telling me that you're a royal or that you've been to the Olympics. I know this because I have multiple famous godparents. And when I start rattling them off, it sounds like a lie. So when people ask me for proof, I can very easily give proof because it sounds like a fucking lie. It's the royal family of Denmark. Okay? Like, it's not England or Saudi Arabia or Ghana where there's like tons of people in those families, or multiple royal families and people with like titles and former principalities. Like people will say that they're like, oh, the German princess, because that shit might be hard to look up, but Denmark is not that hard to look up, even for the Olympics. It's not like the U.S. Olympic team where there's like a stupid amount of people. Ain't that many people on the Olympic team in Denmark, summer or winter, okay? And it's just some shit that was like, why are you giving this man that you barely know money? Okay, like I understand, like this happened in a Tinder swindler too. Like this man was like shelling out all this money on trips and gifts to these women and telling them that he was rich. So when he asks for money or wants to borrow some money, they're like, well, he's giving me all this stuff. Like it wouldn't hurt to give him some money back. And it's always the same shit. Like your money is tied up in the IRS, so you need to borrow money. Like you married this man still after you found out that he borrowed $200,000 from your friend's husband and never paid it back. And I'm also looking at your friend and her husband like, why did you give this man $200,000? Okay, you found out before you got married that he had a 10-year gambling addiction from one of his friends. And you still married him. You went to his man's house in Denmark. And he lived in a regular ass townhouse. When you were spending time with his family, did the whole royalty thing never come up? Did you, like, it's just like you were in Denmark and the royal family's trooping around all over the place. And you never, like, were out with this man in Denmark and people stop him to be like, oh, Prince so-and-so. Like, he didn't have no security. And as a member of the, like, baby, it's just, I'm just looking at this, like, I have never in my life, over the course of knowing a man, lost more than $100. And that's because, like, birthdays and Christmas and, like, random, like, just because kind of presents. 400 between you and your friends and family, 400. There's like falling for and believing a man's bullshit, and then there's this type of shit you watch from distance. Because when I say it couldn't be me, baby,
the part of Onika's story when she said she started calling all of her friends to find out if her husband had borrowed money or scammed them out of money, and they all say, yeah, told me everything I need to know. Y'all got questions for Onyeka. But I got questions for the friend, because I don't have not one friend. I'm blessed to not have not one friend that would loan my husband thousands of dollars and behind my back, and when he tells them not to let me know for whatever the reason, they don't. None of these friends talked amongst each other and found out amongst each other that they all loaned this man money, and no one thought to say, you know what, something's not adding up. I need to talk to my friend. Because I find it hard to believe that it was a cinematic epiphany, staged revelation that they all found out that they all gave this man money. There's no side chatter, no sidebars of, oh, guess who asked me for some money the other day? Amongst the other friends? Or did they all know and they played the, oh, let's just, she'll find out when she find out. And I'm sorry, I'm not believing the whole gambling story. I think that is a ruse, that is a cover up, because if he had a gambling addiction that serious, and like his family said that it got real bad where people was after them, was threatening the family, how do he still have access online to gamble on the same sites? Like, that's not adding up. So no, I don't believe the whole gambling story. I think he was robbing Peter to pay Paul. He was recycling his debt. He owed so many people money. He was getting money from her to pay this person, and then he'll probably reborrow that money back with some new life-threatening emergency. When the lives will come tumbling down, then that's where he will throw in, the gambling addiction, because we tend to want to help and be supportive to someone who's struggling with any type of addiction. I literally spent my whole day watching all 24 parts of her story, thinking that she'll vindicate herself. Come to find out, the relationship ended because he left her. She didn't even leave him. Like, the swindling would have still been going on as I make this video if he would have never left. And he had to leave because he had borrowed money from so many of her family and friends that the walls was caving in on him. And then he was using the door in the face technique. Whenever he would ask her for money, he'll start off with a large number, like, oh, I need 50,000. I don't know, I gotta figure something out. I'll ask around, blah, blah, blah. And then he'll come back and say, I was able to get majority of it, but 6,000. Can you loan me 6,000? When it was 6,000 he needed the whole time. But it's easier to start off high and say, oh, only need this amount. And she fell for it every single time. Every single time he used that technique, and she fell for it. I'm sure she came from a place of empathy and trying to be a supportive girlfriend, fiance, wife, but you also have to utilize discernment.
I put in a concerted effort to avoid this Danish Deception shit I did. Like, at first I was just hearing rumblings, and then every video was about it, and I knew I was getting eerily close to that video coming up on my For You page. So I took it a step further. I went ahead and hit the search and blocked her, because I don't even want to pretend. I don't even want to pretend. I am allergic to stupid shit. I can't. Even Risa Tisa didn't get a view out of me. I can't do dumbass shit. I can't. And as a known trick, I am known to spend my money on niggas. I'm known. I'm not a cheap bitch. When it comes to a man that I love, my wallet is open. I can't lie. But it's my choice. You can't ever need nothing from me. What you mean you need $6,000 fucking dollars? How do we go to $6,000 to $330,000? You got too much money for me to think you don't got no good sense. Your brain is working. It is. But you know what was working overtime? Low racial self-esteem. Oh, Jesus. Because even from the bits and pieces that I did go ahead and gather from the recaps, you would never have let no black man do this. You only let him do that because he was white, bro. And on top of that, I went ahead and located his photo. He looks like a rat. He's tall. That's it. Broad shoulders. From the neck down, 10. Face, 0. But really, I don't have much to say other than the two things that I've gleaned from this. Or one is a question, one is a realization. My question is, how the fuck did you never put 2 and 2 together that he was using the money that you gave him to take you on the trips? Or did you still not realize that? I still don't. Because the thing is, and this is I be trying to tell y'all, do not get on here telling story times about shit you have not healed from. Girl, this just happened. This just happened. And I just don't think the pieces are connected. You know how sometimes when you, like, something crazy happened and your homegirls beat the damn story into a dead horse and y'all come up with a new theory every 2 weeks? She hasn't had that chance to beat the dead horse yet because it just happened. So she not even piecing together all the pieces because you just going with what you got right now and what people have told you so far. And my realization is about to come after this. Just hold on with me. People are saying the main difference between, like, why people accepted Risa Tisa's story and, like, actually was just entertained by it and, like, could be on her side despite it being fucking stupid versus this is because, for one, at least Miss Tisa had that man paying the bills. At the fucking least, Legion was paying the bills until he wasn't paying bills. But also, Risa Tisa said, yeah, I was a dummy, and this is some dumbass shit that happens to me for being a fucking dummy. This girl is not even almost at the point where she's realizing that she's a dummy. She's not even there. She's not even grasping the fact that you was blinded by a whiteness. A whiteness. You was blinded. You couldn't see you was blind. But most importantly, my final evaluation of all of this is that she is not telling this story to blow steam or to vent or to, like, warn others, because quite frankly, this could literally never happen to nobody but you. You and everybody else who love white people that bad. Because I'm so sorry, being in a group of all white friends, that sounds so scary. And I went to white high schools. I went to a PWI. Okay? That sounds terrifying. That's not even the point that I want to make. But I will say that having one black friend would have never let this shit happen. Because it's apparent that your whole family may be in on this addicted to whiteness thing. Because there's no fucking way a man could ask my sister for some my mama and no one says nothing to me. And I'm glad that the sister is what broke the camel's back, but that it wasn't because he asked her for money, it's because that embarrassed you. That embarrassed you. Your parents helping you and your spouse out, that's not that embarrassing. Your sister, that's embarrassing. So that the shame made her wake the fuck up. She actually said, oh wait, wait. But also, did she really wake up? Because he divorced her, he left her ass. Don't ever let no man who's doing you shiesty leave you. You're supposed to pack up and prove your point, but whatever. But ultimately, she is posting this video because she don't want them people in her life to come get that money from her. She wants to be the victimiest victim, because if the people in her life, and I honestly think this may have been a bad idea, no shade. I really do think you need to go private them videos, because if the people in your life know to the extent that all these things were happening, they might feel a little less bad for you. When you find out somebody gets scammed, your initial reaction is like, oh my God, that's terrible. But sometimes when you find out the details, you be like, on second thought, hold on. So for the people in your life to be out of money, like your friends, out of money that they thought was for you, they can sue you. That was your husband. They can come get their money, but she's trying to make sure they still feel bad, because if they don't feel bad, once they stop feeling bad, they gonna remember that he owed them $200,000. And low key, like, this shit is so stupid that I'm having a hard time thinking she wasn't in on it. I'm having a hard time because you are saying that y'all was in financial troubles, but you traveling so much. I wouldn't even if you had the money, right? Like, cause you do. It sounds very much like you do. Even if you had the money to still go on your trips, ain't no man who I gotta give money to every damn 24 business hours going on vacation with me. You need to go to work, bitch. And the very last thing I'm gonna say, you should have knew he was lying when he did not get that surgery for his back. As a person who suffers from chronic back pain for years now, I would genuinely never wish this shit on anybody. Chronic pain is one of the most life-altering shit you will ever go through. People must not realize how bad it is if you are required, because I don't even require surgery, right? I just be in physical therapy all the goddamn time. But you know how much pain somebody has to be in to require surgery and they never get it? That nigga was not.
So the whole Danish Deception video, the whole 25-part series, listen, let me tell you what it is. If there's something I've learned from watching Blacklist, everyone who has watched Raymond Reddington will tell you there's something called plausible deniability, okay? And I'm here to tell you that that girl is only making this video simply because she's trying to avoid blame in something. She was complicit in everything from top to finish, okay? Now, let me explain why I said that she was complicit, okay? A man tells you, first and foremost, that he's the member of the royal Danish, the Denmark royal family. What happened to Google? You couldn't confirm that? Also, the man tells you that not only is he a member of the royal Denmark royal family, he has also won a gold medal in the Olympics. Your brain didn't tell you to Google the Olympics and gold medalist. Your brain didn't tell you to ask what year he won the gold medal. Your brain didn't tell you to check to see, you know, your pride didn't tell you to see your man on the podium collecting his gold medal, right? Are you saying that you were not motivated to check for your man on social media at any point to see your man collecting a gold medal so that you can brag to your family members? Are you saying you didn't check? Or are you trying to tell us that you actually did check? You didn't see anything, but you were so glad to be picked for the first time in your 30 years. You were so glad to be picked that you overlooked all the red flags. And when you did actually start dating this man, your mind must have told you at some point that something is not right. A millionaire asking you for $6,000, if he truly is a gold medalist in the Olympics, did he not have sponsor? Not only that, he is a member of the royal Denmark family, gold medalist, and he somehow does not have a visa to the United States. Are you saying there's no Denmark embassy? The Denmark embassy could not contact the United States embassy? What exactly is this? This story is just you trying to wash your hands off any crime this man must have committed. I sincerely believe that your friend Crypto must have threatened to sue someone at some point, so you decided to make this video so that you can make yourself the victim, because something tells me that you knew all along, because you were the one sponsoring that relationship. So you knew, you must have suspected at a point, but you continued because you were way too deep. So you are as much a criminal as this guy. And stop coming on to people's comment section talking about they are victim blaming. No, in fact, if we are to put the blame right where it is, you are dangerous. You put your friends in a position where they got scammed because you wanted to be picked for the first time in your life. You did that to your friends. And the African Americans in the comment section talking about, oh, she's Nigerian. Are you for real? Are you for real? Nigerian. What does that have to do with anything? Are you for real? Nigerians always place white people on the pedestal. Where? If you guys know the mind of a typical Nigerian, you will not say such a thing. Let's put the blame right where it is. That girl she's a big pygmy, and she got exactly what she deserved.
Y'all are not nosy enough, particularly when it comes to men. I'm only like 15 episodes in. I'm a little late to the Danish Deception. And already, I realize that the spirit of journalism, the spirit of nosiness doesn't consume you all enough. A man tells me not only that he's an Olympian, but that he comes from a royal family. And the way that Google opens up on my phone while I'm still in his face. Like I'm under the table, trying to see, doing my Googles. I'm genuinely the friend. All my girls got to do is tell me where that man went to college and his name, and I'm going to figure it out. If I don't have college, okay, that's fine. I can still figure it out. It's not crazy. It's not weird. It's journalism, and y'all need to start journalating. People make jokes about it all the time, but I am dead serious. By the time I give a damn enough, let's say we're on date 3, you telling me all about your mama, you like, yeah, you know, she went to this college, you know, her and my dad not together no more. Baby, I already know. I already know. I found her Facebook. And your aunties too. I'm not afraid of being labeled nosy. I'm not afraid of being labeled a sleuth because I am all of those things. But guess what? It's protecting me from the swindle. Not victim blaming, because we have all fallen short when it comes to discernment, when it comes to men. But let me tell you something, ladies. The second you know even a sliver of information about that man, Google it, look it up. If you are not capable, ask your nosy friend. That's another thing. You didn't tell your friends. Because my bestie called me and said that she's dating a royal who has an Olympic medal. I'm Googling it. And that's not even the man that I'm dealing with. I'm sending her a message like, sis, are you sure he said Olympics? Are you sure he said handball? Are you sure he said royal family? What royal family? I'm not really understanding. Get nosy, ladies. Get nosy. Get to gossiping. Get to asking people. Get to Googling. Baby, if you only know that man's first name, put his number up in Zelle. It'll tell you his last name. Trick. Journalate. Be a journalist. It'll save you some trouble. I promise.
The Danish Deception series has taught me that I am not wife material, and I'm also not one to be swindled. Because how do I find out that you have a gambling addiction and you asked my homegirl's husband for close to 200K American USD behind my back that you still owe him, and I'm taking care of that debt for you because we're married? See, the way that if I found that out and I was going to stay in the marriage, the way I would be like, so let me know when that's taken care of. Let me know when it's paid. That's not my problem. Through sickness, health, and debt, I don't think
Let me just say that I'm going through so many emotions watching this series. I don't even want to lie to you guys. There's just so much that has crossed my mind, and I just wanted to talk to somebody about it. So first things first, what must her Instagram have looked like during that time? Because she was posting all of it. Like, I'm sure it looked so incredibly lavish. All of these trips, these dinners, all of these different countries, like, it must have been absolutely insane. And that also shows you that social media is not a real place, okay? Because you guys have now seen the situation. Her husband was in a ton of debt. He was a gambling addict, and she was also now financially on the hook for him for some of the things, because she was taking on a lot of the household expenses. How must her friends have felt? Because even though I understand that they had a payment plan in place, just watching them live like this extravagant lifestyle, knowing that they owed so much money, and even if they were on top of things, it's just kind of like, I would have so much anxiety. Any kind of money that I had, I would probably just put it towards paying the people that I owe, especially if it is that, like, such a significant amount of money. $200,000 is not a joke. And even though she says that they were understanding, as husband and wife, I'm sure they would like sit and watch her Instagram stories, or like just watch her live in general and just kind of like side eye, but they can't say anything because she is, you know, on time with whatever payment plan that they had in place. But it's just kind of like really really, did we have to go to the trip? And also, when he was resetting all of the times, you know, when he had to leave after 90 days, why didn't he go back to Copenhagen? Why didn't he just go home and then come back, instead of them always having to take a trip? Like, listen, I understand that people go through shit, okay? Everyone in life goes through things, but there's just something about someone who is always in crisis, like all the time. There's something, like, every single time it's you. And also, it's never anything good. It's always something bad. It's always just one thing after the other after the other. I honestly think that there came a time with her when she was starting to see this pattern that she knew that something wasn't right, but because of like the time she had spent, because of, even on her Instagram, I've seen like she's got all of these friends that seem to have money and, you know, live a certain lifestyle and are married and whatever, and maybe she just wanted a piece of that, and it was maybe embarrassing to admit that, you know, maybe she had jumped in way too early, and now, you know, she can't really get out for whatever reasons that she had given herself. I feel bad for her, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, girl, no. I think also sometimes in life we just need to use a little bit of critical thinking and a little bit of logic, because even some of the things that he said, like, Googleable. Like, you can definitely find that information, you know. And more than anything else, I just believe overall that she just wanted it to be true. Whatever fairy tale she thought that this was, she really just wanted it to be true. And so because of that, I believe that she overlooked a lot of things that even she knew she should not be overlooking. And whether or not she will ever admit that to, you know, herself, the people around her, that's neither here nor there. But, you know, it is what it is now. So sad really, but we're waiting to see how the whole thing is going to play out, even though I'm exhausted watching it, but I'm invested now, so.
I privated my Danish Deception video because I was wrong. And I'm not afraid to go on the internet and say that. It could never be me. I'm so sorry. I finished that video series. I filmed a video about it when I was about halfway through the series, and I had been savoring it throughout the day, and I was like, I'm gonna finish this when I wake up. I couldn't sleep, so I finished the series before I went to sleep, and boy did it keep me up because I was unsettled. Basically, in my original video, I say it could be any of us who end up in a situation like Onyeka's, and I'm realizing, no. What I was thinking was happening was this is the case of an relationship that she was in, right? Like, she was in a relationship with a man who financially lied to her, all of this stuff. No. It does not help that by the time I got to part 24, I saw that she was following Candace Owens on Instagram. So I was like, oh, okay. What I thought was happening is not what's happening. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I like to assume that, all things held together, people will act in or think in their best interests. And I do still stand by the idea that, patriarchy convinces women to abandon their common sense in pursuit of a man. Because, having a man, being with a man is the ultimate realization of a woman's humanity, basically. But this is something else entirely. This is a level of stupid that I fear I could not have accessed. Because then I really started thinking about it. And I'm like, so within a few months of meeting and knowing him, he told you a couple of things that would have easily been verifiable as to whether they were true or not. First, that he was a royal. He held a royal title in Denmark. I found out that one of my classmates, they had a family member on a Supreme Court in a European country. I went and looked that shit up immediately, and I found that lady very quickly. Public figures, public roles like that, there's information about that on the internet. Second, he said that he went to the Olympics twice and represented Denmark. Once again, there's information about that on the internet. So even taking that at face value, right, she went to visit his house. And he lived in a normal Danish house. His family home was normal. They were not in a castle or anything. Or even an upscale residence. It was just what? What royal titled holding family do you know that just lives in a random townhouse? I just don't. And then he's talking about he owns apartment buildings. Where are the apartment buildings? Show me a picture of them. I would like to see. He owns property. He owns an apartment. She already found out that the apartment that he owned was not his. It was an image that he found on Google. For me personally, it gets to a point where somebody has one time to lie to me before I'm like, okay, this is a person who's liable to lie. And so anything that he told me after that, I would have been independently verifying. If she found out that the apartment that he claimed to have owned and sold was actually the apartment of a German interior decorator, why would he be telling you the truth about these apartment buildings that he owns? Why would he be telling you the truth about this business account? Why would you at no point go and look up the Danish IRS? This is the spirit of a person who voted for Donald Trump. Because that particular man has people getting on the internet talking about it's not like Epstein was into 8-year-olds. If you want to believe, if you want to be scammed, if you want to be swindled, if you want to believe in what someone is putting in front of you, then you will. I think the difference for me is that it doesn't last that long. I have too suspicious of a spirit for me to have been able to, once you scammed my friends of $200,000, I don't even understand why they were still married until this year. You can get divorced. She said they lived in Texas, which is a separate property state. There's no way it would have been me. I got so upset I started singing. Yeah, Mercury's in retrograde. We're bound to be wrong every once in a while, okay? And I was wrong. He scammed the little sister. He scammed the family. Mind you, these people are Nigerian. There is no reason that a human man should be able to get away with all of this. Patriarchy aside, and the reason I got out when I was in an emotionally and mentally relationship is because I told my friends what's happening. So if you take anything away from this story, It shouldn't be that it could all be us, because it really could not. But it should be that if your partner is moving in a way that makes you feel even a little bit uncomfortable, tell people who you trust. People who are not male-centered. Because I am certain, if she had told a singular one of these multimillionaire friends that she has, okay, that this man was lying, cheating, stealing, had a gambling problem, they would have been like, oh, babes, okay, yeah, this is not workable. But you know, who knows? Because they might be Trump supporters too. I don't know.
I just finished watching the 25-part series of the Danish Deception, and all I can say is, Onyeka, take this. Take this before I say what I want to say, because it might make you cry a little, okay? Take. I've got for you one. Girl, you don't like being black. Let's start there. Let's start there, because I had not seen any of your pictures, any of your pictures when you were with this said man. And now people found them somewhere, I don't know, and they showed to the internet. And how you are looking, I don't think you like being black very much. That's why when you're around white men or white people, you change your hair, you do all, you know, slick hair, pressed down. I can tell a black woman that is insecure from a mile away when they're dealing with white people. Black women who are secure when they are dealing with the white men and they're in relationships with them or married to them, they will wear their afro out, they'll wear their braids out, they'll wear their natural hair, they'll be happy, like they'll do their afro, they'll just be themselves, they will wear, you know, some African things, like they are so content and so fulfilled being in their blackness that they don't need to prove anything. But with you, mama, there's a certain need for you to be validated by white people. And the fact that he was a white man, that's why he got away with it. If he was Onyeka from Anambra State, we both know it would not have gone that far. So you are too, how do I say? I don't know what shape, but you pedestalize white people so much in your community, in your friend circle. That's why he was able to do all these things. Because if it was a fellow Nigerian, he would not have gotten away with it. And I'm just hearing from the grapevine that you follow Trampoline, Jay-Z Vance, it's not Jay-Z Vance, J.D. Vance, and Candace Owens. We both know where Candace stands when it comes to this topic. Those are the people you admire. Now we see why you got scammed, and you are going to actually get scammed again by a white man. Because that need you have to be proximity, with the proximity you have to whiteness, is what is going to get you scammed the second time. And this time maybe it might be bigger, might be smaller, but a white man somewhere that see the type of woman you are is coming for you. Because I don't think you entertain black as much. Because right now that you're not with a white man, you're putting on braids. Black women, when you're dating outside of your race, you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to prove that your English is good. You don't need to prove that your hair is slick back. You don't need to prove that your accent is... Be yourself. If a man wants you, he will take you as you are. That is number one. Number two, your naivete when it comes to dealing with men is what is going to get you scammed the second time. Maybe it's because you came from a good family, good home, good examples of men. So you have this naive view of people are genuine and nice and kind, and you trust men quickly. My sister, snakes and rats are out here. You need to look at people from a lens of distrust until they prove themselves otherwise. Okay? Number three, the need to date for social media validation. To post on Instagram cute pictures, because I've seen your pictures, you look cute. Together with that, your scammer boyfriend, husband. You people are looking very sumptuous. So you are looking like that, very sexy, very well put together like that, with nice vacations and gold and sweet, dazzling things, but you're the one paying bills? You pay bills for white man? You know, if it's a good white man, he's genuine, he's nice, and he has fallen on bad times, we understand. We are women now. We take care of our people. But he was scamming you from the start. You should not like white men that much. They swindlers of our land, natural resources. They are still taking oil in Nigeria. And now they're taking your money? Let's not do that. Onyeka, my sister, on my profile, I have an ebook on how to date this white man with no feelings. Because feelings got you scammed. If you went for money, you might be heartbroken, but at least you'll be crying in Greece with your own money intact. But now you're heartbroken, physically, emotionally, and also financially. Double tragedy. Another point. Learn to verify information. I don't care if it's Jesus Christ that is telling you that I came and I'm a son of God. Prove it. Prove it that you're the son of God. Jesus had to prove to people that he was the son of God. Yet these hooligans didn't have to prove anything. You put your hand on his leg, you get electrocuted. Did they, ma? Hey, what love did this now? Anyway, another thing. This needs to be attracted to men based off their physical attraction and physical features without them proving themselves is what is going to get you scammed again. These women who go for this cute, oh, I like me cute, I like a cute man, a cute. Cute men don't have the money. Cute will not pay your bills, so cute will not fly you to vacation. Cute will not take care of your baby. The more the cute the man, the broker they are. Because they are doing that as a package to attract naive women like you who are like, oh, I have a cute boyfriend, but they don't pay rent. I have a cute husband, but they're the one taking care of everything. Cute men don't have money, unless he's a model by profession or he's an athlete and they have to keep themselves looking sharp. But regular people, they do not have the money. And then another point, my sister. This goes to all African women in Africa and in diaspora. Stop viewing these white men as gods. They are not any better, they are not any nicer, they are not any kinder, they're just different. And when you're dealing with them and you have standards, let the standards cut across white or black. But you cannot subject a white man to, white knight, you're okay sleeping with him on the first date, but with a black man, you want to sleep with him after 17 dates. Okay, Onyeka? So when you're dealing with these white men, subject them to the vigorous investigation that will subject a black man. Because if you did that, your money will still be with you. And then finally, when you're dealing with men as a woman, at least let a man have more money than you. Because rich or poor, they're all the same. The mental load, the psychological and emotional labor you're going to do to in the house is all the same. So you better go for money. Because if you go for money, at least you have help, you have nannies. Because married women and women in the relationship, they live shorter than single women. So if you have to pair yourself up with a man, pair up yourself with a man that is adding value in your life. And finally, this thing of falling in love with people you barely know. These people are here on Love is Blind. Oh, I'm in love with you. Because of what? Love should be effort. The more effort a man puts in to be with you, the more you fall in love with them. He has done nothing, but you're in love. Love got you scammed, my sister. Love got you scammed. You need to assess your view of money and why you feel like you don't deserve to be treated well. Because you went to a designer shop. They tell you, pick anything. You pick $200 sunglasses. Because you don't want to prove to him that you're after his money. Now he was after yours. If you have taken that $15,000 Chanel bag or Dior bag, at least you'll have sold it and got the money back. When a man gives you an opportunity to pick something and takes you to a designer shop and say, my sweetheart, pick something, pick something. Pick something, however expensive, because he has given you the offer. Because you don't know. Because while you're there with your good heart thinking, oh, he's genuine and I don't want to be after his money, he was after your money. And this thing of sending your personal information to strangers on the internet that you don't know, he was asking for your passport information. Would you have given it if it was Onyeka? And I know, we should say, victim blaming. No, sometimes it's being stupid. If you have verified all this information, ask their family. They say they are royal. Did you hear Meghan Markle say that Prince Harry asked her for money? Because Prince Harry was prince and everybody knew that. And if he was coming from Denmark, from a royal family, all information will be there. When you go to his family, their house, their ranch, you will know they have the coin. So my sister, you just closed your eyes. So open them before another one comes. And learn to love yourself as a black woman, as a black Nigerian. Go back to your roots. Because if you don't, trampoline people, they're going to trample on your heart. Don't vex now, my sister. Don't vex. Don't vex. But take care. Because nobody's going to take care of you. The whites, they're all about taking.
I also think on the topic of scams and the Danish deception and just women being swindled by men, the stories that I mentioned, the Risa Tisa, Dr. Deliwe, the Danish deception with Onyeka, I find it so interesting that all three of those happened within the institution of marriage. And I find it interesting because I think this common perception of like, once you find the love of your life, once you get married, like you are safe, and it should be that way, you should be safe. I mean, of course, there were red flags in all of those cases prior to marriage, but I just find it so interesting that like marriage did not exempt them from being scammed. Like, it wasn't the safety net, the safety blanket that you perceive of it to be. I haven't fully thought out this thought, but I just found it so interesting that like those three cases that have, you know, gone viral are really all ones in which it happened within the where you would feel safe to, you know, help Indoda, you know, because you're like, oh, you know, I'm helping him now, he'll help me, like, you know, if ever I go through something and blah blah blah, all of those reasons you'd give, you know, that like, oh, of course I'm just, you know, being a supportive wife, and you know, he will return the favor, the tides will change. But I also saw a TikTok that spoke about something that we really underestimate is the power of the drug that is love. See that drug? Sana. The power of the drug that is love. Like, I think we really underestimate the things that women will do when they are in love. Like, it is vastly different to you in your sober mindset. Like, when you are rational and you're not in love, are things that you see from afar and you can recognize that they're scammed. But when you're in love, it all becomes seen through rose-colored glasses. I don't know how to explain it. That's why that question, whenever you see someone in a toxic relationship, that question you ask them of like, if a man was treating your sister, your best friend like this, what would you say? Would you tell them to stay? Would you ask them to leave? Like, that question, asking someone who's going through things, that question is so important because it helps them to see the perspective from outside of their own emotions and feelings. Of course, it's usually never enough. It's usually never enough. I mean, speaking of experience, but like, still, I think we really underestimate the power of love and what that will make you put up with. And that's why I maintain that as a woman, as a person generally, but as a woman, you have no business getting married until you have really learned to love yourself. Like, you have no business getting married for as long as you are still pursuing marriage and a relationship out of a desire to be loved. Like, it needs to be out of an outpouring of love you already have for yourself. Like, you need to be so full of love, full of life, you know, enjoying your own company, enjoying your own life, having built a life that is fulfilling and full and rich, and wanting a relationship because you want to share that with someone, not because you need them to complete you, not because you need them to give you something that's missing, but because your life is so full and you would just like someone along for the ride with you. And I think that really would help a lot of women prevent themselves from being found in these situations, because you wouldn't you would start seeing these things and you realize like, no way. But I think that's a very vital part, because like the need to be loved keeps you entertaining things that you have no business entertaining, even in your heart of hearts. Sometimes you know what's off, but at least I feel love, at least he loves me, you know. You need to really love yourself and give from an outpouring of love that you have. And that's why I'm on a journey of discovering things that I love about myself, and of cultivating a life that I love, and falling in love with myself before I even pursue the concepts of a relationship, because I want to give from an outpouring. I don't need someone to make me happy. I want to share my happiness. But I think that's a very important thing that we need to teach women, and I really think that would help prevent this. But it's just scary that, you know, the institution of marriage isn't a safe space from scams, although it really has never been, because I mean, we see our mothers and our grandmothers and everything that they've been through.